Spoiler alert. The following will contain spoilers for Raised by Wolves. What's up, everybody? It's me, E-Man from E-Man's Movie Reviews, and I just got done watching episodes 6 and 7 of Raised by Wolves. Gotta say, they were pretty good. I liked what was going on there. I definitely liked the parental themes that were happening, especially the duality between mother and father and Marcus and Sue. I mean, the tension in episode 6 really started to build up, and I really liked the action that happened at the end. So let's talk about episode 6, and then we'll jump into episode 7 right after. Right off the bat, I really misjudged Marcus and Sue's love for Paul, because I forgot that they actually had an equivalent of about 13 years to raise him in their hypersleep. So now I think it does explain why they're so adamant into, trying to save him and help him, because it does seem like there's some genuine love there. Now we have Campion over here who's exploring his thoughts and questioning things as he's going through this growth process. It's leading him to have his own beliefs, such as everything having a soul. And I actually kind of wonder, is this just kind of commentary on how belief is just something that's probably part of human nature, especially if you weren't indoctrinated in some sort of religion? Now, I do think it was a little bit strange for Campion to feel so insecure with Paul upstaging him and all, but I guess that's just a growing pain, and he didn't have to lay them hands on Paul like that. So it does seem as though Campion and Paul are going to be at odds later on. I also thought it was pretty telling when Campion started to question Mother and the use of violence. Campion called out Mother by saying people only listen to her out of fear. I like this interaction because I think it speaks to a number of ideals that human beings try to reconcile, but then they end up making all these exceptions. Kind of like it's okay for us to kill animals, but it's not okay for us to kill humans. And, the justification for that can vary depending on the person. But now we need to talk about the weird stuff that's going on. And I'm talking about Tally. First, Tally is going around sleeping in little kids' beds, but now she's making drawings too. What the hell is going on with Tally? I mean, I really can't put my finger on it. One minute you think she's a supernatural ghost, but then it seems as though Tally can cross the planes and she actually has access, well, I'm assuming anyway, she has access to seeing what Mother saw in the simulation. I mean, this stuff just doesn't add up. And of course, it really didn't help when Mother goes to talk to the computer, and the computer's like, I don't know if the last user was human or android. I don't know. But if we go back to the drawing situation, when Mother confronted Father, this was yet another situation that I was talking about was kind of frustrating, because as Mother is trying to get Father to confess to drawing those things like Tally did, Father's sitting here like, I don't know what you're talking about. And Mother's like, it's gotta be you. And at no point do either one of them just finally confess and be like, by the way, I saw Tally last week. Oh, you saw her too? Oh man, I saw Tally over here. Come on now. Just say it. Please just say, I hope episode 8, they just finally say it so we can start to figure out what is going on with Tally, because I don't get it. Now, wait, I take that back. One thing we could consider is we haven't seen anything from this ninja person as of yet. Could that actually be Tally all grown up after 12 years? I mean, maybe that'll answer some questions as to why they were keeping surveillance over the camp. And plus, as one of you guys mentioned to me in the comments in the previous video, we never actually saw Tally fall in the hole. Maybe Tally's been kidnapped and she's being raised by those creatures. Maybe Tally was kidnapped and raised by wolves. Like, we might have like kind of a Mowgli, Jungle Book, or Tarzan thing going on here. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. But now we have to go and talk about Mother going around and doing her VR sex thing in the pod. This was a lot. First of all, is Mother even anatomically correct? Like, what is she doing trying to knock boots with Campion? Older creator Campion, that is. I mean, are they just dry humping each other? Now, what was interesting was some of the visual stuff that we did get to see. And one of those examples is like when Mother started to look up in the sky, and it was very similar to when Marcus was having his vision. Both of them were actually having their visions while they were getting it on. Now, while Marcus saw blood, I believe Mother saw the same. There does seem to be some sort of double insinuation at play here. It looked like as Mother was orgasming or whatever she was going through, at one point, was this representative of her seeing the divine? All this white blood fell? Or could that be representative of sperm? Look, I'm just trying to hope that the creators of this show are not trying to play out some weird porn fetish or whatever. Because now, the androids, they do have this white fluid that's similar to blood, and I guess that could be similar to what Marcus saw. Maybe it represents death in some way, shape, or form. But then again, did y'all see Campion? My man was done. Like, he was done. Right after his explosion, he was done. So he's just laying there too, you know? So I don't know. What did you make of this scene? I'm sure it's symbolic in nature. I'm sure some futuristic event is going to happen. I don't know. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on the white scene. What do you think that was all about? Now, after a failed attempt at trying to kill Mother while she's in the pod, you mean to tell me that Mother is an earthbender too? This is really starting to get crazy with her powers. So she's the last Avatar now? What? Okay, alright. I don't even know why her powers do the things that they do. Why can an android do that? Oh, maybe it's magnetism. I don't know. It's whatever it is. She can. Now we know she can float rocks and throw them. Now, if we go back to the camp, while Mother was getting her groove on in the pod, Father is out here protecting the children at all costs, and I loved it. Like, I legit began starting to cheer for Father. I mean, he's finally going to be useful, and he was really doing a good job until, you know, snitches. Then, I'm sitting here like, damn it, Father, you gonna die again? But thankfully, you know, after Mother had her cigarette or whatever, she finally showed up and helped out a little bit, and Father was saved. However, Marcus and Sue managed to steal Paul away. Then, Marcus decides to send Paul back on a mission, just like when he was a child soldier. And I kind of think like this was like an interesting way, because like I said, you know, in all these episodes, there's constantly a display of the flaws in both the religious and in the atheist side of these factions at play here. And, you know, I think this was just a demonstration of the atheist flaw, which was they had a army of children that they were sending off to go fight. And Marcus was basically passing down what he learned to Paul by using Paul to put him in like a very dangerous situation just to get this goal accomplished. I mean, to manipulate children into fighting and stuff, that's pretty low. Now, Paul was successful as he managed to steal Mother's eyes, and he set her up for Marcus to take her down. Right before the final blow, Marcus starts hearing the voices all over again, and this time they're saying, let her live. Look, these voices, I don't know what's going on. The fact that it's multiple voices, it's kind of crazy. But I will say that what I liked about this episode was that the androids took a heavy loss here. And, you know, the struggle that I keep having with this is I don't really know who to root for at times. Sometimes I'm rooting for the humans, and sometimes I'm rooting for the androids. Right now, I feel bad for the androids, so I think I'm on their side, I guess. I don't know. Whose side are you on, depending on which episode? Like, when you saw them fall, did you start taking the side of the androids? Or were you kind of like, nah, the believers, you know, the humans, go team human? But anyway, moving on to episode 7. It didn't have as much action as episode 6. But, you know, it did have the exposition. We got a lot more, you know, details and different things kind of revealed. One thing that I did like about Mother was that she was tapping into more of her emotional side as, you know, the events started to progress. Even while she's wounded and she's down, she's still talking Campion down from engaging in more violence. Or even when she's being dragged away by Father, you know, getting ready to be tossed into that hole, she's still appealing to his sense of usefulness. Now, I do have to wonder, is Mother just doing this to be manipulative, you know, for survival? Or was she being completely honest? You let me know what you think. Now, with Sue's character, I thought that there were two interesting things that happened here. And for one, she said that believers destroyed the earth. So I suppose this is yet just another small hint of the cause of this great war that is, clearly torn the planet apart and, torn humans apart. And the Mithraic people must have been doing something really bad to cause the world to end. Now, one has to wonder, are these voices that people are hearing, are they influencing the religious people to do things, like rape kids or kill other people? Now, a second thing with Sue that probably is minor, but I thought it was kind of interesting, she yelled out, "Jesus Christ!" I found that interesting because we see with the Mithraic people that there are clearly some hints of Catholicism within their religion, or at least some similarities. The only difference is they worship Saul. So I suppose this means that Christianity did exist in this world at some time. Maybe it just kind of died out like other religions. Maybe this soul revolution took over and made people convert. But now I'm starting to think that like this Saul thing, it's got to be like maybe a collective hive of consciousnesses or something. Maybe it's like some alien that has yet to be revealed and maybe yet to reveal its true intentions. But now we get even more creepy Tally, who at first was sleeping in kids' beds. She's drawing on people's walls. Now she's telling Campion to go kill your father. Then she's saying to Campion, like, you need to kill yourself to come and join us? Who is us? Who is she talking about? I don't know who this us is, but I get the feeling that this us is probably got some sort of connection to the voices that Marcus is hearing in his head. So is Tally Saul or Saul Tally, or I don't know. This is getting really, really messy. Now, of course, the bigger thing to end the whole show was the deal with Marcus. And Marcus had an interesting set of events happen here. He found the golden scalpel, the one that was in his vision. In his conversation with Mother, my suspicion from episode 1 was actually confirmed. Mother was able to determine that Marcus was an atheist, and she called him out on it. After his therapy session with Mother, we see Marcus pushing Paul, which prompted Sue to hit him back. And I think all that does is it confirms the fact that their relationship is becoming even more strained, and Marcus's vision of killing Sue may actually be coming true sooner than later. Finally, we see Marcus and Father trying to do away with Mother until Marcus meets himself, Caleb. Now, was this divine intervention? What did this fight mean? What do you think it meant? I mean, especially because I'm assuming Marcus lost. The fact that he's the one that got the final blow and he was cut up or whatever. And then on top of that, you have the voices still telling Marcus, let her live. Why do the voices want Mother to live? What is the significance there? And then the whole episode ends off with Marcus coming to the realization that he's actually the child of prophecy all this time. I mean, we had some prime candidates before. We thought it was Campion at first because, he was like an atheist, but then all of a sudden he's growing all these beliefs and stuff. Then we thought it was Paul because he's out here playing with his Legos and stuff, building cities. And then all of a sudden it was like, well, maybe it's Marcus because, well, he's hearing voices, that, some other rapist confirmed was Saul, but maybe it is. We don't know. But look, this episode gave us way more questions than answers. I think the biggest wonder is definitely what these voices are and what's going on with Ghost Tally, because I can't figure her out at all. I mean, she wants people to kill themselves and, she wants to go play with people. I don't get it. It's weird. It's crossing some real lines from sci-fi to supernatural. All I know is episode 8 better give us some answers. I just saw that season 2 got greenlit for Raised by Wolves, so it seems like there's going to be even more world building, maybe more problems, more characters, who knows, but I'm excited just to see what's going on with it. So please let me know, what did you think about these 2 episodes together? If I'm not mistaken, I do believe that episode 8 is going to drop by itself, so we might not get another back-to-back. Either way, whenever they drop it, I'll be back here, so be sure to come on back. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you like what you see, don't forget to turn on the notifications too so you don't miss out on the next video I drop. In the meantime, I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.